There's an ashtray. There we go. Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? What's up? My name's Louis Vuitton, and thank you for stopping by. Welcome to the show. So, for those of you who may not be aware, I'm Louis Vuitton, and I'm an Australian progressive left-wing streamer. Despite being over in Australia, I like to cover a variety of topics, particularly around the US and Australia. And to do that, I stream twice a day, usually. Early morning my time, so that I can jump into the American audience, and in the evening my time, so covering more of an Australian-centric stream for the Australians. On this channel, we cover topics, especially, but not limited to, workers' rights, minority rights in particular, trans and indigenous rights, and we'd like to talk about masculinity. Really interested on that topic. See about how we can improve on what's good, and maybe, reconstruct what's not so good. So hey, if you like the show, it'd mean a lot if you would chuck me a follow. Head over to YouTube and subscribe to me there. Jump over to Twitter and follow me. Join the Discord through the link down below. And also, as you can see from the bar above, we have our daily dono goal. Just $17. If you can contribute it a little bit, I'll put it towards buying me a pizza. Because I am a poor boy who loves pizza. Maybe that should be my new Twitter bio. Poor boy who loves pizza. I like that. So yeah. Little dangerous. Streaming at the same time as several big streamers. But anyway. You've got to get on that hustle. That's the thing about streaming. You've just got to keep at it. You've got to play the algorithm. It's worse than a fucking slot machine. Seriously. I had something to say. Oh yes, hustle. That's interesting because I was hanging out the other day in Demon Mama's chat, and she was talking about working, and she was talking about the idea of, given the situation that so many in the working class find themselves in the service industry, in the gig economy, about how they're undervalued, underappreciated, underpaid, undercompensated. Well, in response to this, as a form of kind of passive, maybe not so passive, direct action, stop working hard. Don't work lazy. Don't work slack enough to get you fired. But stop putting in the extra effort in a workplace where you know that it's not valued. She talked about how, you want to put in your best. You want to go for 110%. And that you want to, stand out. You want to do your best. But how it's not worth it. Because, 99 out of 100 times, it'll go unnoticed. Or it'll be taken for granted. And it's true. I've worked in workplaces where I've put way more than 110% in. I've worked in workplaces where I've really shined in a lot of ways because I have a really passionate drive for professionalism. And I didn't put in that effort just to get a pat on the head. I put in the effort more for myself than anything else, more for my own personal benefit and my own just personal satisfaction. But then especially considering when I look back on how in the end I was ultimately treated by those companies, I mean, it absolutely wasn't worth it. So yeah, stop working hard. But it was interesting because she had a little bit to say about hustle culture, and it's interesting because hustle culture is kind of a good thing when it comes to streaming, because when it comes to streaming, you really need that kind of attitude. You need to have the kind of attitude of, I'm going to get up every day. I'm going to keep at it. I need to stream almost every day. A few hours every day. You need to have high energy. You need to be ready. You can't just be sitting there like um, or just like lots of dead air. Like that's one of the biggest, I guess, the biggest errors you can make. Because think about obviously, like, you have an advantage of streaming when you're on video as well, but not everyone streams with video. Think about talk radio. Is there ever a period of dead air in talk radio? Like, maybe, like, unless it's like a pause to add for effect, but otherwise, like, if barring that, there's no dead air. Somebody's constantly talking. There's always some kind of sound coming through, It's always happening. And that's the thing about streaming. You really got to keep that up. And, like, that hustle attitude also is useful related to constantly talking. When you've got to be constantly talking, even if, there's no one in the chat, or if there's people in the chat and no one's talking. Like, I've done that. I've been sitting here, and there's people in my chat, and I can see them there, and I'm talking, I'm covering topics, and no one's throwing anything else. But you just got to keep on pushing on. You've got to keep the energy up. You just got to keep up the flow of conversation, and just keep at it. That's the thing. So yeah, when it comes to streaming, sure, hustling, yeah, that kind of attitude can be useful. How's this? Is this still too hot? It feels too hot. Anyway. Now, forgive me for the very short period of dead air while I stir my tea. But no, that's the thing about working jobs like that. Like, I put in the effort, but I don't know, like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's not appreciated. Let's be honest. Like, when it comes to working a job with like corporate structure, I'd come up with new ways to innovate the work. Like, in one job, I designed a position between supervising and this specific role in the workplace, where it was like a semi-supervisor, which would make it easier to have the specific role that the supervisor was designed for, having a new supervisor for them as their direct point of contact, rather than the main supervisors, because they're usually busy. It's better if we can just put it in between, put a middleman, and then if needing to, the middleman can escalate it to the actual supervisors. And here's the thing: when it comes down to corporate workplaces, I have a lot of respect for, like, team leaders and supervisors and such who have worked their way up. Worked their way up from the bottom. Started, from where, I might be in the company, but have actually taken the effort, taken the time, put in the effort to get all the way up to the team leader role, rather than just applying for a team leader position. Because I've worked in workplaces where people have started as a team leader and have no experience in the actual work that gets done, and when they're needed, called to help out, they're useless. Or what's worse is when, remember, it's early my time, someone wants to ask them a question about an aspect of the work, and they have no clue, because they've never done it before. What the hell are you here for? Part of how I believe businesses should be structured is that supervisors should be deeply, intimately familiar with the work that they're supervising. I mean, it's one thing to be a good manager in terms of making sure people are meeting KPIs and making sure that people are staying on track. But how are you supposed to coach somebody on working if they know the work better than you? Yeah, which is very frustrating. I mean, a lot of the times I would, with team leaders like that in those kind of workplaces, just got some news that's come in. Britney Spears has told a court hearing her father, Jamie Spears, should be in jail. Come back. Fuck. Interesting. Oh, alright. Well, obviously, completely unrelated topic, but absolutely, free Britney. She's an adult now, she can manage her own funds. She doesn't need her father's help. Hell yeah, you go, Brit. Anyway, yeah, I would find myself, in my position, and the supervisor in theirs, and I'm much more deeply, intimately familiar with the actual goings-on of the work. And hey, people who have that knowledge, and are the kind of people that have leadership skills, should be the ones stepping up into leadership positions. Now, thankfully, I never did step up into a leadership position in that workplace, because I would have been miserable. And before I could even apply, I went back to university, so that wasn't going to happen anyway. But even if I did stay on, if I had stayed on, then I would have eventually applied for team leader. Would have been paid jack shit for 30 times the work, but anyway. Fucking bullshit. But yeah, the point of all this is that stop working hard. Put in whatever effort you have to do to get away with not working hard. Yeah? Remember, you know the business better than your boss does, unless there's somebody who's, like the person just talked about, who's actually worked their way up. If they've worked their way up from entry level position like you have, okay, well then, you have to be smart about it. But if there's someone who, most of the time, your boss hasn't got a clue about the work, so stop working hard. Excuse me. Alrighty. I can't stream for too long today because speaking of work, I have to go into work. My boss has called me in to get some photo shoots done of the equipment to put up online. I'm not going to be doing the photographing, but I have to set up the equipment. But the thing, this is a related topic because, they hadn't said if it was paid or not. And I was going to say it, but it's going to be pretty awkward if I'd asked, is it paid? And they've said no, and then I've said, I'm not available. But I'm sorry, it's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Don't let your boss take advantage of you. I haven't never worked in an industry like retail, for instance. I've never been asked to stay back. Whenever I've been asked to stay back at work, I've always been paid for it. So, I don't know what it's like in that kind of workplace where you get asked to stay back and you're not paid for it. Like, I can't ever imagine doing that. If that ever happened, then I would just walk straight away. Well, I don't know, maybe not. Depends on my situation, but I don't know. I'm the kind of person that wouldn't let it slide. I'm the kind of person that would kick up a fuss. But a lot of people aren't. A lot of people want to keep their head down. A lot of people don't want to, upset the apple cart. But I know when it comes to workplaces, yeah, I'm quite willing to upset the apple cart. Just asked the manager of the center that I previously worked at. On a completely unrelated note, let me tell you all, it's very hard to convince your colleagues to unionize. Oh well. That's a good thing that we have all these online streamers influencing our Zoomers so that they can grow up and join their unions. Thank goodness. Oh dear, excuse me. Because otherwise, I can't do it alone. Anyway, like I said, I can't stream for ages, so how about we get to some content? And if you're enjoying the stream so far and you feel so inclined, it would mean so much to me if you would contribute whatever you can to our daily donation goal of buying me a pizza. Alrighty, let us see. How's the volume on this?
Our mama taught us when we were small kids. Keith and Kevin, y'all listen up now. When you vote...
Alright. I'm sure you guys have seen these two around. Horrible freeze frame, so sorry for that. These are the Conservative twins, and they're going to tell us why they left the Democratic Party. Oh, from the Daily Wire. Lovely. Alrighty. Alright. Hello, who's this? Haimo Saturi. My goodness. Could your name be any hard to pronounce? Hello again anyway. Thank you for stopping by. Let's enjoy some Cringe. Play.
Our mama taught us when we were small kids. Keith and Kevin, y'all listen up now. When you vote, always vote for Democrats.
I mean, like, yeah, like, let's be honest, it happens in America. Black kids are told to vote for Democrats. Democrats aren't good, but the Republicans are demonstrably worse.
Growing up,
if you're going to tell them vote Democrat, though, at least tell them why. At least point to policies put in by the Republicans and say, here's how bad they are. You know, like, let's look at voter ID laws, for instance. See, the Democrats are fighting this.
black, I mean, you're like actually taught in your home you're a Democrat. Republicans are racist. And I always believed that.
Wait, like race aside, like what's wrong with being told like you're a Democrat or you're a Republican? Like that happens in households all the time. Like it's gonna like, and if you're gonna be told that, it's gonna be for a specific reason, you know. Might be like, you know, like you're a Labour voter, you know, because your dad worked the mines, you know. You're a Liberal voter because your dad's a scumfuck accountant or something, you know. It's got to be for something, you know. You know, you're a demo, you know, or like you're a Greens voter because, you know, your dad's an eco-terrorist, you know. Or, you know, you're a sex party voter because, you know, your parents are both sex workers. You know, whatever. It's going to be for something.
It took like the first 30 years of my life to figure out that wasn't true. I just started watching both sides of the news.
I mean, like I said, demonstrably false, you know. when it comes to something like voter ID laws, absolutely, Republicans are fucking racist.
The very first political videos I came across was Larry Elder.
Yeah.
And then that little white supremacist Ben Shapiro came out. I started looking at all their videos.
That is correct.
That is correct. Okay.
Not African American. That's not a term I like.
The idea that sex or gender are malleable is not.
I don't want a body shame, but like this angle bed, it's not flattering. What the heck? Ben, I thought you were like a little skinny guy. Does Ben have some cake?
Not true.
And the first time I came across Ben Shapiro, I wanted to murder him. Because he always had an answer and he was always right. It's like this white supremacist smart. But that didn't.
You have to be pretty dumb to watch a Ben Shapiro video and not be able to rebut his points like that. Far out. Okay, so these guys are a couple of idiots.
Convert me yet. Then over a couple more years, I kept looking. I was like, man, everything that these people are saying is the truth. And I started. Before I knew it, I was just sitting there for hours, just looking at him.
So when Ben Shapiro said that Arabs like to play around in sewage, was that true as well?
Then Candace Owens gets recommended for me. Then I was like,
Oh, it's almost like the alt-right pipeline is a real phenomena. Damn.
and how can I been this dumb all my life to be standing like? I remember my first time I voted.
No, you're worse. You're even more dumb now. You fell for their grift.
It was for Al Gore. I'm there standing in line. I'm like, why am I doing this? I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Bush is a white supremacist.
I mean...
I think a lot of people, especially minorities, have been lied
Katrina.
to for so long, and they'd rather have that crutch of blaming white supremacy on them being just pathetic. Yeah, it's easy to point at a white person and say, that's why I can't That's why I'm succeed not in life. successful. That's why my credit is messed up. The reason why I robbed that guy.
Don't look at a white person, but look at white supremacist policies.
Guys, because a white man won't give me a job. I had to rob that black person. You know? And a lot
This music is like super feel good, but like I'm dying inside.
of white people don't know being black. When you hear that term racist or white supremacist, that's a very powerful word. It puts a lot of black people in a trance. Yeah. They stop thinking. And Democrats know it. That's such a powerful word. If they can keep black people upset and not thinking, all they have to use is just say he's racist, he's a white supremacist. I mean,
I don't... How often do you hear a Democrat call someone a white supremacist? Like, even Trump, like... Biden called the Proud Boys racists and white supremacists, but he never insinuated that, like, Trump's support of the Proud Boys was, like, any kind of indication that Trump is a white supremacist, so... I don't know. You just don't hear it.
Try to tell black folks,
Yeah.
look, man, we all are created equal. You know what they call us? A damn sellout. Or Uncle Tom.
From the moment they're born, their parents, their
You said it, not me.
churches, our TV shows, our music, is telling us to think a certain way. It's all our culture. Has nothing to do with white supremacy. It's kind of a shame because being mentally enslaved is like, that's worse than being physically. Yeah, because if you can see you got chains and you're a slave, you can try to take the chains off, you can run. Yeah. But how can you tell somebody that they're a slave and you don't have any chains? It's like mentally enslaved. That's more powerful than being.
This is sad. Oh. This is honestly, like, actually sad. I shouldn't... Oh. I didn't watch this beforehand, but this music's, like, super upbeat. And they're talking so positively. But they're like, oh, I was mentally enslaved before. Here's why I support the Republicans, who totally aren't racist, despite the long history of racist laws they've implemented, from the war on drugs to voter ID. I just feel uncomfortable. I feel like I'm watching somebody hit their head against a wall.
And you can't. Dude, you're going to die a slave. Yeah, like we didn't have no friends growing up. We was always with each other, and we was like shy. We were loners. Yeah, we're just weird kids. He's a real good kid. He was in the spelling bee. He got straight A's. He was always a bad influence. Mom's like, how the hell do one of y'all get straight A's? And the other was just all that. He's supposed to be doing it. All my friends, once we got out of school, they were getting locked up for selling drugs and beating women. I wanted to get the hell out of there. Yeah. So we went to the Marine Corps. Yeah, it was going to be MPs, but once we got in, we found out recruiters lied to us. I was driving a truck. He was working in a mess. The cooks would come to me and say, hey, Hogs, go get the food so I can cook it. He's worse than a cook. I didn't even trust him to cook it. Yeah, I was like a bus boy. So we did 4 years. And then we was actually insurance adjusters. Yeah, we worked for AAA.
Are you supposed to be telling us why you left the Democratic Party? I don't give a shit about your life story about, oh, I was in the Marine Corps. Cringe, by the way. I suppose it's a good way to escape poverty. Which is a whole other conversation entirely that we could have. But anyway.
I just came across YouTube. I went to his cubicle. Hey, man, got this great idea. We're going to become comedians. I said, get the F away from my computer. Because we wanted to be an accountant. I just wanted to make a little money to keep his car from getting repossessed. We actually lost our job because we were shooting them on our lunch breaks. Yeah. And we're saying stuff that was, like, I guess, offensive. So they fired us. So we came up with this game plan. Said, you know what? While we're unemployed, we're not making any money from YouTube. Let's treat it like a full-time job and see what happens. We never knew it was going to take off the way it did. And then a couple years ago, we started talking.
These guys have a comedian act? They seem like the least funny couple of guys ever. What the fuck? Oh my god. Okay, well now I know what hell looks like.
Talking about politics. We always been an open book. So I say, hey man, let's start a political channel. Well, first we was playing it easy. So let's don't say we're conservatives, don't say it's liberal. So we did the video. It's about the kid at Whataburger that got assaulted for wearing that MAGA hat.
I bet you wouldn't have came up to me if I was wearing that hat.
The worst thing we said is...
That is true. The guy in that video was an absolute little... I'm not going to say that word on Twitch. A coward. Because if it was one of these two guys wearing that MAGA hat, you wouldn't have come up to him and pulled it off. You just saw this little teenager wearing a MAGA hat. You thought, this is my opportunity to get some clout with the libs. So yeah, you go up to this big burly biker and pull off his MAGA hat. You know, go up to some guy wearing a Confederate flag t-shirt and pull off his hat. See what happens. So, I mean, I'll give them credit for that.
Say, hey, nobody should ever be attacked for wearing a hat, right? You think everybody would agree on that? Nope. We put the video up on Instagram. We lost like 40,000, right? A lot. It pisses off so much we kept doing the videos. Yeah, because we didn't want these people follow us no more.
If I'm wrong for taking up for a kid who got assaulted and robbed, then I don't want to be right.
One of the main reasons we came out as conservatives, actually, I was trying to help black people, but they didn't see it that way.
I wonder why.
We're sellouts, and I just wanted to give blacks, people of color, just an alternative, you know, outlook on. You don't necessarily have to be a Democrat or liberal just because of your skin color. Before we came out politically, like when we go to a comedy show, it was like a good mix. Yeah. Now comedy
it's a melting pot.
Yeah, it's a melting pot.
It's America.
Yeah. Well, now we go there, it's like a Van Halen concert. There's no black people there. Yeah. That's the whole point we came out. It doesn't matter where you start. It's all about your decisions.
I mean, what does that say about your content?
And your ideas. In life. Yeah. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. The harder you work, the better decisions you make.
The more ambition you got.
The more ambition, the further you're going to go in life.
Yes. Pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Alright, well that was really cringe and honestly quite painful and honestly like really sad. Really sad. I hadn't actually... I think I've maybe watched some of their I don't know, I've ever actually watched somebody cover their content before. I've seen them around the place, but I think it's the first actual full video I've sat through. And holy shit, that was horrible. So yeah, give me 1 second. Alrighty, and let me just bring the stream back up. So yeah, like I said, that was cringe. That was horrible. What time did we go? Oh no, I got time. Alright. So yeah, double the conservatives, double the cringe. And unfortunately, there's a whole lot more of them out there. But hey, some days, it's just really, really good to see them squirm like they are right now, still coping over Stephen Crowder bitching out of his debate with Ethan. Oh, not Ethan, Sam Cedar. Well, I mean, it wasn't supposed to debate Sam Cedar, but you know. They're coping pretty hard. I don't know, anywho, I didn't have anything else that I pulled, and y'all have been a bit quiet, so I might see about calling it there, because I have to eventually head out to work. But anyway, thank you all for coming. Like I've said, my name is Louis Baton. You can follow me on YouTubes, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, join the Discord, the link down below. I've got a couple of extra dollars lying around, it would mean a lot if you donate to the pizza fund. I also do prepared content over on my YouTube channel. But anyway, I love you all, stay safe, and have a good one.